But right now, we're going to meet that young fella that Uncle Des referred to. Some of today's most powerful messages, I'm sure you'll agree, will come from our young guests. This is a 24-year-old man who was born in Brisbane. He grew up on the lovely Sunshine Coast. Ode Claxton Smith lived in a small town with his mother and sadly was a victim of bullying during most of his schooling days. At the age of 12, his brother introduced him to Australian hip-hop. Ode wrote his first track around that time. When he started writing, he found it quite tough, I'm told, but he followed through and now has really built his confidence in his rap, flow, style, and he is passionate about sharing his art with the world. He's known, his working professional name is Ode1. Some of his original music and titles include I Am on the Rise, I'm Only Human, and Poetically Vicious. Performing his original piece, I Am on the Rise. Welcome, Ode1.
3 years in the past, I left the hills picking the grass, dreaming of future I was beaming and start, so I could see him in the dark, a demon in heart, with the misconceived idea of how to fill a grocery cart, beating cans that I drink in the charge and the benders that leave my peace to go to pass, but I stay true to ink in the craft, ink in the bars, speaking with data, rage too dangerous, was born creative to tear puzzles apart, repiece it back with his heart. Remember when I was beginning to start to put pen to paper, to illustrate a speech to leave marks, for those kids in their position, the victims of DVs, because the fathers are too weak to offer on his shoulders and arms, but dog enough to bring and cover up the unforgivable harm. Convincing the victims they ask for the sins committed and done, with no consideration and sympathy for the innocence of the young. Yeah. Yeah. Addicted to bars like alcoholics to piss in the glass. Heavy hitter of the pen and passwords, the door of the bar. Stock of medicine dose when I flow to men that's in my heart. Chose rap over cancer to begin a better path. Cause the previous road be prepared to disembark. Putting down beer, spirits and cars to evolve the soul in the arts and evolve the MC I inspired to be a name on the charts. But rapping since priming and inside to me, I can feel the burn of the spark. This journey I wish to embark has been yearning to direct a different path. It's only when I'm in the zone with the pen in my palm that I feel at home and comfortable with who we actually are. This MC's 13 years in the making and ready to start turning this generation of rap upside down and keeping the pin to its ass. Yeah. 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 A rap like I was born with the pen and the form, words stored up in my head. 24 years old, to roar with the words that I could form on the pages I read over and over again, to store them to pull out when a need of is set. Solely because I continue to pour songs for events, especially when I'm free to escape, caught in my head. I need to be pulled out without sauce and a bev. I'm drinking myself to my income, but nothing more than frowned upon situations, desperation for grog. Open the door to exit, housing to the concrete lawn, the dust all rise the bed with a confused idea of a place for my rest. I was a confused idea of a place for my rest. Beating myself up for days on end. For the next payday, simmering light is ahead. Yo, I'm on the rise. Each song I write is repetitively better than the last. I thought that for when I allow myself to downsize and slide down the mountain, slide rewriting all my wrongs, cause I'm on the rise. Cheers.